Hello there, and welcome to this video, which is going to be looking at 2.1.7 programming section of the OCR specification and IDEs and more different pieces which they require you to look at. We're going to be looking at in this video. So OCR want you to be able to explain the difference between high-level code and machine code, explain the need for translators to convert high-level code into machine code, describe the characteristics of an assembler, compiler and interpreter, and describe common tools and facilities available in IDEs. So the main thing to be looking at with high level and machine code is high level are your programs such as Python, Visual Basic, C++. They're programming language which sort of makes sense in English. So for example, looking at if statements, being able to write and use your own variables. Machine code is a set of instructions which interact with the CPU. Remember, all the instructions on the computer all go through the CPU. All the instructions are essentially written in machine code. So if you're looking at using Windows, if you're playing Football Manager, if you're using Excel, even though it looks like you're just clicking on different things, everything essentially then gets converted into machine code for it to be able to interact with the CPU so it can load up the different instructions. Translators are needed to take high-level code and convert it into machine code. So, for example, if you were going to go to China and you didn't speak Chinese, you'd want to take a translator to convert from English when you speak to the translator, and the translator can then speak into Chinese. Exactly the same concept for why you need translators to convert from high-level to machine code. High-level code won't be able to be interpreted by a CPU. It won't have a foggiest what's going on. The translator is able to convert it from high level to machine code, and then the CPU is able to understand what's going on and that actually then be able to process the programming which you've written. It allows different programming languages to be created for different purposes, and they can have their own particular slant on how they use the CPU and then how their high level code gets converted into machine code. Characteristics of an assembler, compiler and interpreter are, I have found this nice little image on the internet which I've stolen, and I've converted and I've written a table up here as well. And we can see here the interpreter, compiler and assembler. So a high level language uses an interpreter to then convert it into low level language, assembly language or binary language. So very simple terms of programming which the computer uses. Compiler takes all the code and compiles it and puts it together into a low level language, and then an assembler takes a computer instruction, puts it into ones and zeros, which is the base code of everything which is done on a computer. Compiler takes the whole code and converts it all at once. Everything that you get done, it compiles straight at once. It's fast, requires a lot of memory, and it only displays errors after going through the entire program, checking every single line of code. Whereas an interpreter converts line by line. It's slower, but because of that, doesn't need as much memory. Errors for interpreters are displayed after each instruction, line by line. Finally, describe common tools and facilities available in IDEs. We've got 5 here, which we are looking at from the OCR spec. So for example, we have got runtime environment, error diagnostic, editors, translators, auto documentation. Some IDEs such as Python allow color syntax highlighting. It allows you it lets you know what's going on as you're doing it. So for example, if you think about running programs in a Python shell, it lets you run things and be able to change things as you're going before you convert from a Python file into some form of executable. IDEs are ridiculously important for when you start off programming, and also just to be able to let you be able to do different things. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye bye.